Welcome, YouTubers. I just seen this video on should I rent my house or not, and then I'm going to take it one step further, and in the end of it, when I flip the page, I'll show the rest of it. So the two things I really wanted to take note on for me tonight was that I learned what NOI is and cap rate. So if you don't know what cap rate is, I just learned it, so I want to repeat it before I forget it. Cap rate is the net operating income, the NOI. So you made this much money on the property. You divide that by the purchase price of the property, and that is the cap rate. So let's get into these numbers. A house, as I just learned, is a primary resident. Phil Pustiowski, great teacher. I've learned a lot from him, and I have to give him props. I've changed the numbers. There's no problem doing this. So let me get my hand in focus there. A house is a primary residence. It's not an apartment building. It's not an apartment complex. It's not a temporary dwelling. It's a primary residence where you're going to house a family, and you're going to live, and you're going to move in, and you're going to create a lot of memories while you live in this primary residence. Is it a rental? It could be a rental. A lot of people rent out houses. Why isn't it a good idea for me to rent out my house? And a little backdate, the house that I'm in right now, I own it, free and clear. It's mine. I want to play bank when we turn the page. So, but I wanted to learn these two words, cap rate and NOI, net operating income. Explaining rental problems for a house, not a multi-unit. So if you got a multi-unit, rental, of course, is good. So these figures are based on cap rate. So if you're getting $1,200 a month rent, and then I got to pay, out of that $1,200, I got to pay taxes, insurance, maintenance, lawn care, maybe property management. I didn't include that, but $1,200 minus these expenses is $800. $800 times 12, my NOI, net operating income, is $9,600. Taking that $9,600 and dividing it by the purchase price of $150,000 will give me a 0.064, or convert it decimal to percent, it's a 6.4% cap rate. Remember, that's what cap rate is, the net operating income divided by the purchase price will give you the cap rate. So the scholars that I'm learning from say that the cap rate needs to be 10% or above. 6.4 isn't good enough. So then I took it a step farther and I said, well, what if I wanted to get the 10%? What would my rent have to be? So what I did to get the rent was just this times, 10% times the 150,000. I'll slow down. Is 15,000. 15,000 divided by 12 months, the rent would be $1,250. I got to add in the expenses. These expenses here, have to add those expenses in. It takes $1,250 to $1,650. So then the rental fee would be $1,650. Out of the $1,650, take the expenses back out. That gives me $1,250 a month net operating income times 12 is $15,000. So 15,000 divided by the 150,000, of course, is the 10%. But to get 10%, I'd have to charge $1,650. But that won't keep a renter. $1,650, I'm sorry, but I think that's a lot of money. Really, this is just a starter home. It's not gonna, I think I could probably rent this out for responsibly and for long term, $800-900, maybe $1,000, because it's a big yard, it's private, it's a very nice neighborhood. But I've always had this in the back of my head, and this was all my idea, to lease the property. Actually, I threw it around to, there's 3 words there: owner finance, lease to own, rent to own. I guess 4. The other one is sold subject to, which I still need to. But let's go over these numbers, and you'll see that I came up with just about the same thing. But so I'm jumping ahead, but basically let's get through this. I'll go a little quicker. A house is a primary residence, one that I own, and I'm going to lease to own it. And I'm going to base these figures to get the cap rate. So I own this house and sold it for $150,000. Key point right here. I got 10% down. Why so much down payment? Because I'm going to sell this to the individual that has bad credit, can't have a home. The banks won't loan to bad credit. If they have 10% down, I'll loan to them. And of course, stable job. So I'm going to get a little bit more down payment, 10%. So that's 15 grand in pocket, non-refundable. You rent something out and they move out, you got to give them the deposit back, minus damages, of course. But so after 15,000 down in my pocket, it's a done deal. I'm going to finance 135,000, and I'm going to, I guess that probably a little high. It's probably going to be around more like 4%, which is, I don't know, the finance officer will determine that amount. But for these numbers here, off of Carl's Mortgage Calculator, which is an app you can download, all these numbers came off Carl's Mortgage Calculator. 135,000 at 4.5% for 30 years. The payment is $684. The leaser pays this amount, and the interest is included in that amount. So the PI, the PITI that everybody talks about, the PI is included in $684. The tax and the insurance. So these numbers all come to their monthly payment of $924. See how that makes a little more sense? I think I can get $924 a month out of here responsibly. It's just good business in my eyes. My NOI, my net operating income, is $684. I get the principal and the interest. I'm the bank. And $15,000 cash, non-refundable. $684 times 12 is $8206. To get the cap rate, you divide the 8208. You get the 8208 divided by the 135, you get the 0.0608, and that's about a 6% cap rate. So if that's 6% cap rate, and this is 6% cap rate, and you're just renting it temporarily, this is exactly the same money that I would get for renting it, at an acceptable fee, because there's no way I'm going to get that. What that second figure, $1,250, $1,600. There's no way I'm going to get $1,650 a month for this thing. So let's stay real. So I like that cap rate. I like that 15,000. I like the 8,000 a year ROI. So that's lease to own. I still need to put it through my mind about subject to, how that would be different. Or it may not be any different at all. It may just be a selling point to the buyer, whatever their preference is. Maybe they want a lease to own. Maybe they want subject to. All right. Hope that was a good video. Got the bathroom painted. It's so boring watching somebody paint. Nothing against painters. I just can't make an exciting video about paint. So I'm putting the second coat on today, and getting these lessons done. And I've been studying real estate at least an hour or two a day. So maybe I can bring you lessons like this after I do my homework and learn something. I can bring this to you. So I'm gonna post a little saying at the end, and it's only it creates a level mind for free-thinking Americans. Read this thing at the end of this video. Think about it, and don't push it to the don't get in trouble by it. Don't sell it. Don't scream on the porch steps, and don't be a screamer, I guess you might say. Just read what you're about to see, and just think it over, and just remember that's what America was all about: freedom of speech, freedom of thought. Share with your neighbors, with your friends, and remember, I'm not old. I think I'm 56 or 7. So when I was growing up, I seen the old man sitting on the porch step in front of the soda store, gas station, convenience store, I guess. So there'd be a bench out there in front of everyone. There'd be 3 or 4 old men just standing around, sitting around, and they'd be talking about, guess what? Politics. They'd be sharing and learning and sharing some more, and that's what you do, is you talk about it, talk it over, make a decision, stay informed. So that's all I'm doing. Just sitting on the porch step, sitting on the little bench, and if you're willing to listen, I'd like to hear about it too, so it's not a one-way street. So God bless you. Jesus Christ saves, and see you on the next video.